Welcome back. The U.S. Supreme Court came down with a ruling yesterday allowing Texas to use its newly drawn congressional district map in the midterm election. Joining us to talk about the fallout and reaction to all of this is the man who is always in the know, Scott Braddock, editor of Harvey Kronberg's Quorum Report. Scott, you called it. We sat here and you said that this is what was going to happen.
I wasn't going to say anything. I wasn't going to go like, hey, what did I say it was going to happen? It is what happened. And it's because it's simply partisan, right? I mean, the Supreme Court now is stacked with conservative justices, a lot of them put in place by President Trump himself. And it's Trump who's been pushing for this, right? He was the one who kickstarted everything here in Austin over the summer when lawmakers at the Capitol redrew the lines. And of course, that didn't come without a lot of controversy with the Democrats walking out. Quorum break, then you have this arms race for redistricting that started all across the country with California and other states weighing in. We just saw in the last couple of days, I think it's the governor in Virginia said, well, we're going to redraw our map to be 10-1, overwhelmingly Democratic to answer what has happened in Texas. And so not really a surprise, but it does put some things in place now, give some finality so that those candidates or potential candidates or people who are now not going to run could decide what they were going to do. Yeah,
I want to say finality, but with an asterisk, right? Because they said that the map can stay in place while the legal fight plays out. We should note that this will then be the second fight over the maps that is currently playing out in court. I mean, before we dive into how it's impacting candidates, talk to us historically about Texas and its maps and what this really says, this decision really says.
Well, it's a sad fact that ever since the Voting Rights Act was put into place decades ago, every map that has been passed by the Texas legislature has been found to contain racial discrimination by the courts. And this is the first time that the Supreme Court is letting a map stay in place and doing absolutely nothing about it after it's been found to be racially discriminatory by a court here in Texas. That, as I believe that is unprecedented. And so, yeah, these maps will stay in place for now, and the legal challenge will continue. But the reality is that they've got those maps. And I was talking about this on the Quorum Report radio podcast. The fact is that when you have these kind of challenges going on for maps like this with the district lines, or you have lying, cheating, stealing that happens toward the end of elections, people claiming to have endorsements that they don't really have, and those sorts of things. Some things get into the question of legality, some things get into the question of ethics. But when it's all said and done, the voting has already happened and will have already happened in this upcoming election by the time they get around to any of that. And one other thing, my publisher and I, Harvey Kronberg, were talking about this earlier today, the fact that this has played out this way, and I'm not predicting this, but my prediction's been okay lately, but it could be that we just do this every 2 years because of the way that this just played out.
Wow, that would be something. Okay, so let's talk about how this is going to play out come the midterm. So the Senate race is, the U.S. Senate race is the one a lot of people are watching. Jasmine Crockett, what is she going to do?
I have every reason to believe that on Monday afternoon, she's going to announce that she's running for the United States Senate. You can't have made this much noise about something and then not do it. I mean, how would that look? I think in practical terms, it does solve a problem that the DFW delegation has right now, which is during this redistricting, they did shrink the number of Democratic seats up in Dallas-Fort Worth. So you have a couple of other current members of Congress who are Democrats who are either, going to end up, at least maybe one of them running against Jasmine Crockett if she ran for re-election to the House. If she doesn't do that, both Mark Vesey and Julie Johnson kind of get a pass, and they get to go ahead and have safe Democratic seats to run in. It doesn't mean they won't have primary challengers by the time everything is said and done with when the filing deadline passes next week. But as Crockett gets into the race, we've talked about this before, it completely upends everything. You know the old saying about best laid plans? Both Colin Allred, who has raised millions of dollars, and James Tallarico, he's raised millions as well. Both of them thought that they would be in a two-man primary, and now they've got a woman to come in and upset some things.
Yeah, just quickly, the Mark Vesey, Julie Johnson both securing a seat potentially. That's not the case here in Austin.
No, as you know, Congressman Doggett had said that if the maps were upheld, if they were allowed to stay in place, which is what's now happened, that he'd be stepping aside, clearing the way for Congressman Kassar to stay in office. And of course, that's what's happening. They had shrunk the number of districts for those Democrats here in the area, and that's the consequence.
All right, lots of things going to become more clear on Monday. That's the filing deadline for candidates to file. Thank you so much, Scott, for being here with us. Of course, you can always check out his latest stuff at thequorumreport.com. Mark?